Okay, so when the COVID virus came out, one of the issues was always going to be whether people got vaccinations or not. And on the subject of vaccinations, one of the issues is that a third of the people may not want to get vaccinated. And I wanted to shed the light on the subject of vaccinations and talk to different people in my community and see how they felt and asking them why and why not. And I still intend to ask more the why nots and see if I can get a vision from the people of why not and be able to either affirm or contradict what they are saying, whether they're pro or for vaccinations. Today the subject's on pro-vaccination, and I wanted to introduce a good friend of mine, George, who lives in the community, and he has a really interesting story. And as I was interviewing people, I came across George, and I thought his story was well worth telling. So here we go.
Yeah. My name's George Braddy, and I was born in 1954. And the Salk virus for polio was brand new. My father acquired polio in 1922. He was born in 1919. This is infant paralysis, and he had 5 older brothers, 4 of whom died in 1919, so he was left with 1 surviving older brother. His mother delivered at least 14 live children. 6 survived into adulthood, and he had polio, which I was born in the year that the virus was developed for, so I don't have to have that, and none of my children or my grandchildren have to have polio. So yeah, his older brothers all died in 1918 of the Spanish flu epidemic. And this is just my little family history, and they're very typical story of the times. There used to be children's cemeteries. We don't have childhood diseases anymore that require us to have child cemeteries, kids cemeteries. So yeah, Nora Kurt delivered 14 babies, 6 survived into adulthood. You know, vaccines, that doesn't happen anymore. Children live. So that's the story right there. In my family, my father lived to be into old age with polio. He was on crutches his entire life. So no one has to do that anymore. So that's why I'm pro-vaccine, because of my family history.
Now this is a story about being vaccinated, and we realize this isn't the COVID vaccine, but it's a story about a lot of people that are hesitant to get vaccinations for whatever reason. The warning has gone out, and I do want to address the issue of those who are opposed to it as well. But I thought this was, like I said, a worthwhile story to tell on George's behalf. And had these vaccinations been available, myself, I was subjected as a child to the MMRs, and because I believe it was rubella, I suffered, and 20% of the people that suffered rubella without vaccinations became up to 50% or even totally deaf, and there was a certain number that died also from those diseases. And so my hearing from the time I was a young child has been bad, because at the time they didn't have the vaccinations. They came later on in my life. So that's my reason for talking to vaccinations, and I thought this might be an interesting forum to be able to get out there when no one's really talking about or too much about why we should vaccinate. I think the bigger picture of vaccinations is more important, or as important as just the COVID vaccination. George?
Oh, well, I still have to get mine. I'm working on it. You know, being vaccinated is just something nice that you do for the people that you live with. You don't do it just for yourself. You do it for, you know, public health. It's important. These things we do because we care about each other. Then we participate in public health programs. In 1918, people had to wear a mask in the cities because of the flu. It's nothing new, and it's the best we can do, and we can do this, I think. So I don't mind wearing a mask when I go to the store, and I don't wear it when I'm by myself in my car.
So I thought bringing this to public attention was worthwhile. I think George has a really good story and a really good point towards pro-vaccination, and that is the story.
Yeah.